What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today's going to be a bit different. I filmed a video for today. It was supposed to be about some film photography books, and I couldn't get the footage off of my camera. I was using this new CFast card to SATA SSD contraption, and I just realized that I bought the wrong reader. Doesn't go in properly. It's not the same card. So yeah, hopefully I can get that video to you guys next week. But in the meantime, I filmed a video in April. It was for a school project about Netflix, and I thought that it really fit in well with what we talk about on the channel here. So I thought I'd upload it to the channel for you guys to watch. Some of the information in the video has been updated, but I think it gives you a pretty good bouncing board about what's happening with Netflix in the current industry. Enjoy the video. So it's quarantine, everyone's at home bored, probably binging movies or TV shows, and I think it's time we talk about Netflix. The current film and TV landscape is going under a crazy change in the next couple of years. We obviously have the big five studios, but there's going to be a major shift because of companies like Netflix and streamers. Even those big studios are looking to open up their streaming platforms, notably Disney. It's been a couple years since Disney bought Fox, and now they control close to 40% of the box office, which is absolutely insane. Now they're coming in and they're trying to fight Netflix with Disney Plus. Netflix has been dominating the streaming space for a while, and they have to retain that position if they want to move forward. It's important that they do because Disney Plus is not their only contender. We see a new streamer popping up every couple of months. Apple TV Plus, and there's even HBO Max and Peacock coming out. There's also notable streaming platforms like Prime and Hulu that are also doing good things in their space. Amazon Prime especially is making a lot of original content akin to what Netflix is doing, and they're also receiving recognition for that. The main draw about Prime is that it's included in your Amazon Prime membership, so it's kind of a win-win for a customer that's shopping on Amazon and also wants to enjoy great content. Also, Amazon has been really pushing their Amazon Studios mantle lately, and they create original content or buy original content for that mantle. Titles include Beautiful Boy and Manchester by the Sea, which garners them critical acclaim. They've also been doing really well with their TV shows like Marvelous Miss Maisel and the newly launched Hunters that I think I've seen advertisements for absolutely everywhere. Still, it's not Netflix's only competitor. Another main competitor is going to be Disney Plus, which had launched recently and garnered many subscribers, especially with the launch in which they showed off The Mandalorian, which was a Star Wars TV show. And they even have things coming down in the pipeline like Marvel TV shows, and they're getting all the Marvel titles, the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, onto their platform, which can be a really big draw for many people, other than those people that actually want to sign up to Disney Plus to view their extensive back catalog that's just full of nostalgia from when they were younger. Apple TV's also been going into the original content space. There hasn't been much talk around their content. The only notable thing really that I've seen is The Morning Show with Steve Carell, Reese Witherspoon, and Jennifer Aniston. But I think it's important to note that Apple TV is sort of making content that has to be family friendly for everybody. So it might not be for everybody's taste, but Apple's got to play it safe. They also handed out free subscriptions to everyone that bought a new Apple product. They just got a year free of Apple TV Plus. So I think it's important to note when we're talking about the competition and how many subscribers each company has. So for Netflix, they have a really tough decision to make. It's how are they going to compete against all these streaming platforms that are taking off their back catalogs from Netflix and putting it on their own. Netflix doesn't have an extensive back catalog that's going to draw a lot of people. So they have to focus on making new great TV shows and movies to keep those subscribers and also gain new subscribers. And that's what they've been doing. But I think the most important part about this is that they've been promoting this content really well in terms of award season recognition, which does get subscribers to come on the platform and also helps retain them on the platform because they might view Netflix as an essential streaming service among the whole competition. If Netflix tries to make highly acclaimed content, it will also draw a lot of great filmmakers and actors to their projects, as we've seen with Martin Scorsese, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino for The Irishman, and Noah Baumbach, which has been working with Netflix for a couple years now. I think these choices are deliberate from Netflix, considering in 2018 they hired Lisa Tabac, who is a top awards seasoned strategist. She's been behind around 7 Best Picture winners at the Oscars. Awards attention is seen as a major differentiating factor in the marketing of film and television, and is key to attracting new subscribers to services like Netflix. And I think it's important to note that when a studio does have more attention and critical acclaim around them, it will draw those filmmakers and top tier talent to the platform. Clearly, we've been seeing this as in 2020, they already have a lot of projects down the pipeline that have critically acclaimed artists like Charlie Kaufman, David Fincher, Spike Lee, Ron Howard, and of course, we're not forgetting the plenty of TV shows that will probably make a big mark on social media and all the press, and of course, the Emmys. So right now, it looks like Netflix's 2020 is gearing up to be a great year, arguably even better than 2019. So what does this all amount to? Clearly, Netflix has been on the rise with their subscriber counts over the last couple of years. They've been doing well. The US market is kind of saturated now, and they're bringing in a lot of subscribers internationally, which is a good thing. Clearly, their TV shows and movies, they've been marketing them well and presenting them well to the audiences, and clearly there is a demand for it. Still, when it comes down to it, how much does this really cost them? If we look at Netflix's Oscar nominations per year, it started around 2014 with 1 Oscar nomination, moving all the way up to 24 in the 2020 Oscar season. So clearly this strategy of creating award-winning content and marketing it properly during the seasons has been working. Of course, this has an effect on subscribers, but it's kind of intangible because we can't really measure if they're staying on a platform or not because they saw all the recognition from awards season. But it is worth mentioning that when a movie does get an Oscar nomination, and let's say they were to re-release the movie in theaters, there's actually a return on investment on award spending and how many Oscar nominations a movie gets. So maybe the Netflix version of this is that they retain subscribers or gain subscribers on this. Still, Netflix has not really disclosed the amount of money that they've been spending on award season. It's been rumored to be around 100 million, which is a lot, and they declined to confirm or deny that. So who knows? Usually traditional studios will often spend 5 to 20 million per movie on award season, which just shows you how important it is to market those films in the award season. Still, I'm sure it's sucky to see that even though they got a lot of Oscar nominations and Golden Globe nominations, they didn't get much wins. This year, Netflix only took home 2 awards out of the 24 nominations, and the same thing happened for the Golden Globes. They only won 2 out of 34 nominations. It's impossible to say what went wrong because in terms of reviews and how people are viewing this content, it stands up just as strong as the actual winners too, especially The Irishman. Maybe it could be about other factors. Traditionally, Netflix hasn't really been that welcome in the Hollywood industry, but they're still pushing their way in there. And they can't really be ignored that much anymore. I'm just sure that Netflix is still happy with the outcome about these nominations, whether they end up in a win or not, because of course, it's still press, it's still attention towards Netflix, and they're still beating out any other streaming service when it comes to awards recognition. And I guess you can say that they have become the best streaming service. Also, it's important to note that Netflix has only really been in the Oscar races for around 5 years, and the amount of nominations that they've been able to tally up in just 5 years is actually crazy if you think about it. They've gone from just 5 years ago not competing with any of the major studios to now being a leader in nominations at the Oscars, which will effectively result in better performance for their streaming platform. If that doesn't put them into the same category as the big 5 studios, I don't know what will. If there were some recommendations for Netflix moving forward in terms of competing in the streaming space and also the awards season, I would say that 1, they should probably produce a little bit more kids content because you have a streamer like Disney Plus coming in and they have plenty of cartoons and old kids TV shows, which I'm sure many parents will be signing off of Netflix and going towards Disney Plus just for their kids. Another major challenge they've been facing is that to be qualified for an Oscar nomination, you have to have your movie showing in a theater in LA for a week, among other things. And a lot of theaters just don't want to work with Netflix. We saw that with The Irishman when they tried to get it into the major theaters. And that movie was extremely marketable. I mean, you had big stars like Robert De Niro and Al Pacino and the legendary director Martin Scorsese, yet theaters wouldn't budge. I think Netflix knows that they're fighting this uphill battle with theaters and the traditional way of doing things, so they've kind of taken it into their own hands. Netflix bought the Paris Theater Cinema in New York City, and they're in negotiations to purchase another cinema in LA. I think this also has the effect of garnering more support among cinephiles and people that love movies, because to them and many filmmakers and creatives working in the industry, the in-theater experience is something that is irreplaceable and super important in the landscape of filmmaking.
So what about the future? Who knows what's going to happen and who's going to come out of this war? I think with the coronavirus and everyone at home quarantining, we're going to see a lot of interesting things that come out of this quarantine. A lot of theaters are struggling and a lot of movies are being pushed back, but people are still at home watching Netflix. What does this mean for them? I think it means great things. And I think once we get out of this, the whole film industry will be totally different. I think there's been some irreversible damage that's gone on, especially to theater and theater workers, unfortunately. And with a great 2020 lineup in front of them, I think they can really, really come out on top after all this is said and done.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Sorry if my energy was a little bit off in that. That was for a school assignment. I wasn't in that YouTube mind space yet. But yeah, if you guys liked what you saw, don't forget to give it a like and a subscribe. Comment down below to let me know what you thought about that. And yeah, I will see you guys next week.